Welcome to the Cold One with the Boys podcast, where we bring you new content creators every week. We are your hosts, Asen and Nathan.
Hello.
Put your fucking hand up, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's like the first time we were recording together in the same room. So now I'm going to have to use hand gestures. Because if I don't, it's going to be weird.
How?
How, white man?
This is episode 48, titled Popular Culture, with special guest James Baker, host of the Pop Cult Net podcast and YouTube channel. We try a new segment called This or That, real original, for sure.
Yep.
Where we pin up two TV shows against each other and pick a winner. We talk about new movies in 2019, James's podcast, and what pop cult actually means, because Nathan's an idiot.
I have no idea. I'm not up with the meme speak, dude.
It's this new cult where they drink pop. And
that sounds like the Kool-Aid shit, and a bunch of people died during that.
Yeah, you want to join? You want to come?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Fuck yeah, bud.
All right, so let's sit back, relax, and open a cold one.
Yeah. I just wanna crack that door with that voice, yeah. No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for licking, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, so my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping and go call the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro. Brotherhood worth more than a huge blow. We're two hoes, two back.
All right.
We're live.
Man, I'm going to have to start taking allergy medicine, I think.
Why is that?
Because, well, today it was 25 degrees when I woke up this morning. And then by the time I got off to come home, it was 60 degrees. Like at this point, my eardrums are popping every time I swallow. And it just feels like I'm always full from like my nose to the top of my head. It just feels full of gunk.
Well, that's just because you're you, dude.
Hey, you're moving back to Oklahoma. You're about to get it here in a couple days.
You ever heard of a neti pot?
Is that the crazy little teapot thing where you pour it in one nostril and out the other?
It is. And it actually works, man.
I've heard of them, but I've never thought to ever use one because there was a episode on a TV show, and I want to say it was House. And this guy lived in this like grungy apartment, and he got some kind of infection, and it turned out to be that pot thing where he was like swishing his nose out with like infected water or something. And so I've never used one. That's always scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's not that bad until you look into the mirror, and it's kind of freaky seeing stuff pour your nose like that. You turn into a little teapot for real. So as long as you don't look into the mirror, it's not that bad. But it helps with congestion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Nathan has a deviated septum, so if he tried it, it'd probably like go out his ear or something.
Wow, dude. Come on now. Hey, that's not as crazy as the shit I remember you doing as a kid with your little you used to do the little candle and earwax thing, didn't you?
Wait, what? What are you
was
talking
that you
about?
or was that somebody else?
That wasn't me, dude.
Dude, they have this thing where they like light the candle and it's got like a little paper plate and they put it over like their ear and it like heats up the earwax inside their ear and it like drains out.
What?
I thought that was you.
What? No.
Was that not you? No? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I've never even heard of that.
Maybe it was a dream.
Yeah, is that
dude,
I don't think that's real, dude.
I think, dude, it's real. It's like an earwax removal system. Because now they have that vacuum thing. You just stick the little thing in there and like vacuums all your earwax out. Because they say using Q-tips is
bad, yeah,
like damaging to your eardrums.
Yeah.
I had a scare last year. I swabbed my ear after a shower, and I took the swab out, and the cotton was gone. And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit! Damn, dude.
Oh shit!
Oh fuck, that hurts, man.
And then I don't know if it was like a placebo effect or what, but I started getting this huge headache, and I couldn't like. And I'm like Googling how to get cotton swab out of your head, and like the deeper I went down a rabbit hole, the worse it got. So I'm just like, fuck, I'm about to die. And it never came out. I don't know, like if I'm like partly brain dead
What
or if
the
I'm
fuck?
still swimming in there, or if it fell out in the shower. I have no idea, man.
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, so don't swab after a shower.
Oh,
I mean, I usually do, and this is the thing. Like, I'm Eastern European, so I have a fuck ton of earwax.
and hair. They're just hairy all over.
It's hairy. I'm hairy all over, but not in my ears. It's just it's literally just a ton of earwax. So like one time I was swabbing my ears after a shower, and I accidentally like pushed the earwax further in, and it like blocked the ear hole. Like
The ear hole.
yeah, well no, not like just the hole before the eardrum. So like it was basically like wearing like a headphone in that side. So I was like,
that's
damn
why
it.
you're deaf, dude, in your left ear.
No, like I went and got one of those flesh kits, and those give me vertigo, man, because like your ear has to do with your balance and your
Right.
I don't remember what it's called. Your balance. So your inner ear, like that water squirting onto the eardrum just fucked me up. Like I had a headache. I did it at your house when I was living with you.
Yeah, so it was you. You talking about pouring shit. Okay, so I had the right idea. You pouring shit down in your ears trying to unclog it. I just had the wrong method. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's like you have the medicine. It's like a little dropper. Like you just drop a little medicine in your ear, and it like loosens it up. And then you take the other little device that's just like squirting water in your ear, and it flushes it out.
Yeah, I'll pass. Hard pass.
Yeah,
man. If you like me, just leave it in there, man. It'd be all right.
just leave it in there.
Yeah,
Just won't hear, man.
Otherwise, you could end up with cotton swabs floating around in your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that works, but you know. Anyway, we got James Baker here from Pop Cult Net
What is up, people?
in our virtual studio, as we like to call it. Soon to be
Now,
real studio, hopefully at some point in the
Hopefully.
next like 5 years. But
unless you don't make it to Oklahoma.
dude, don't jinx that shit. Come on now.
I take it back. I take it back.
I'm gonna be
Hopefully
driving in
you
the
make
winter. I feel like there's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, you right.
You know those videos you see on YouTube of like a blizzard and you can't see in front of you and someone's like crashed and then a semi
you,
just
dude.
like goes full speed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that shit, man. Going through Wyoming and those mountains. Ugh, not looking forward to it.
What you doing out
You're
here?
gonna be all right.
Well, right now I live in Seattle, and I'm actually going to be moving to Oklahoma, and that's where Nathan is. That's where I'm originally from, is Oklahoma, and I'm just moving back. And we're doing a drive. We're doing a 29-hour drive from Seattle to Oklahoma. So,
Are you going to do a pod the whole time?
a pod the whole time. That'd be cool, but I don't think
Yeah.
I'll
do it like a
no.
mobile pod. That'd be kind of sick.
just set up my car as a little studio, a little moving
That'd be
studio.
pretty wild. Gwen would just be toxic the entire time. I can hear it.
Well, she'd be in her car. We're doing two
Oh,
cars.
you guys drive separate. That's right.
Yeah. And then we have to trade with who has the cats in the car. That's going to be fun.
Oof. Oof.
I
You better buy cages, dude. Put them in like a pet carrier.
mean, we have one, but, we don't want to let
Stick them in
run.
the same one.
Yeah, I mean, ours is like, it's a really big one. And with cats, you can do that. You can put them both in one and it'll be fine. But anyway, man, so you do the Pop Cult Net podcast. So just for our community, like we know what it is, obviously, but tell our community a little bit about what it is and what you do.
Okay, so PopCultNet is a podcast about pretty much anything in pop culture. I cover everything from movies to TV, music, video games, anything like that's up to date. And I chat about that with other podcasters. And I also host a segment that's called Get to Know, when I interview other podcasters in pop culture to pick their brains about their process of podcasting and where they came from and so on and so forth. But PopCultNet is just a big brand about just everything pop culture and celebrating pop culture. And I also have a YouTube channel by the same name, PopCultNet, And I'm doing the same thing there, but pretty much just me running the show. And I'm doing everything from movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, and that's as far as I got so far. But I do want to do like album reviews. I want to get into everything like that. So maybe even topics of the week. So I'm just learning as I go, trying to figure out what my audience is and what people like to talk about. But that's what all Popcorn is about, just getting the word out there about pop culture.
Yeah, man.
So I'm not up to date with all the
you're an old
man, come on, give me a break. You're older than I am. What are you talking about? I don't know all the hip words to generalize everything these days. So I was literally talking to Asin before we started the podcast, and I was like, what is pop culture? Is that literally just anything that's famous in the world right now?
No, not right. It's not necessarily current events. It's pretty much like Star Wars. Any big franchise or anything that's popular is pretty much popular culture. That's what pop culture is. Gotcha. But it's pretty much anything that is relevant in today's times. Like I'm pretty sure you guys know about the Avenger trailer that just came out.
Yeah,
everybody's talking about that. So that's part of pop culture. Any new music that comes out. Red Dead Redemption was pretty big a couple of weeks ago. That was huge in pop culture. Everybody
Cardi
was talking
B.
about it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Cardi B. Everything like that. People love to talk about stuff like that, and I love to talk about it. So why not make a podcast about it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I feel you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do the same thing, except we talk to content creators, but most of our stuff has to do with gaming. Because we're huge gamers. It's what we do. We're nerds.
Yeah, that's a big following too. Do you guys stream?
No, neither of us stream, but that is one of our goals for 2019 is to get this live on Twitch. So we're saying it on the podcast so that our community can keep us accountable and get it done by the end of 2019. So
keep you accountable.
Hey,
time market. At this time on December 12th. 2018.
Well, hopefully
we're
before
thinking
then,
mid-year.
Yeah, we're thinking mid-year. We'll have to set up everything. We're gonna set up a little studio and see what we can do, and then one day hopefully we can start flying people out to our studio. But that's a long ways in the future. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, dude.
My big thing is, or I don't even know if it's a problem or what you would call it, but I'm a go hard or go home kind of person. So we're talking about building the studio, and I want it to actually be a studio that you would go in to sit down and record, any kind of audio. I want it, we're going to probably build it inside my house first. And then, if things become monetized, we start making a living from the podcast, eventually we'll build our own studio. But I want to have my room soundproofed. I want it to look dope. We need, I want all of our equipment to be matching. I want our chairs to be matching. I want it all to look good before I make it go live. So
he basically wants to sink $50,000 into this studio right now.
Do it.
Dude, if I had 50 grand, I would for sure. It would probably all get dumped into this podcast. Just because I don't know. One of the big things that turns me away from, trying to watch a live podcast, which is why I listen to them. I hardly ever watch them on YouTube or on stream, is because whenever you see the background versus imagining it, if it doesn't look like you think it should look, it automatically turns me away from the content. And I hate that about myself because I shouldn't care what it looks like. I'm there to listen to the conversation. But if I actually see the background, I'm like, oh, come on.
I'm the exact same way. And I just spent all day yesterday putting up a lot of prints that I got from Comic Cons and stuff like that. Because, they say you're your biggest critic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have spare time, I look at my videos and I'm like, oh, I like this, I don't like that. That's how you make yourself better, critiquing stuff.
Yeah. But
I didn't like how the background was looking in my video, so I just spent the whole day yesterday just revamping it. And I love how it's looking right now. I have have a Wolverine poster up, Thanos, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Black Panther, a lot of anime stuff. So I totally agree with you. As far as podcast setup for being live, because I feel like that's a huge distraction when it's like an empty room and it's just two guys talking. I mean, you do want to have those details in the back or something to strike up a conversation, even in the comments, like, hey, where'd you get that poster from?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it too. So you're completely right about that. And I hate that I'm like that as well.
Yeah,
like I wish I didn't care.
Yeah, me too. Because like I'll see a podcast like that, and it's just like three guys around a dining room table in their kitchen. Like there's no like work whatsoever put into like making the background like look like a studio or anything. It's just like a dining room table in a kitchen or something. And I'm just like, man, come on.
And the conversation could be amazing, but you're still looking at the background like there's nothing else to look at besides you two guys chat. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and the biggest
totally
thing,
agree,
especially with going live and a podcast, it doesn't matter if it's live or not. You got to catch people within the first few minutes. You know, people aren't gonna stick around, and you know the first thing they see on a video podcast is your studio. Automatically, there's gonna be some form of judgment, and
They
then
judging your ass right away.
exactly. And I mean, at that point, you know, if the background and the studio itself, whatever you're recording in, isn't at least presentable, like as James said, like the conversation could be amazing, but I probably won't stick around, especially if like the first few sentences aren't something I'm interested in. I'm out, you know. So it's definitely something to look into for any kind of presentation, whether it's streaming or a podcast.
I also heard you say you got anime posters up. So anytime anybody ever says anything about anime or being a weeb or anything, I always have to ask what the favorite anime TV show is.
Yo, so my go-to answer is always this anime called Death Note. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah. I am. I watch a lot of anime, so Nathan.
I'm gonna ruin this conversation right here.
Oh God, here we go.
The only anime I've ever watched, and probably my favorite. What? Give it to me.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, I've actually never watched Dragon Ball Z.
You've
and I
never
get
watched DBZ?
I never, and I get a lot of shit from a lot of people for that. But I've never watched it.
Crazy. I'm giving you shit right now.
I'll give you one more guess. Like, there's probably only one other mainstream.
Yeah, it's the other one, dude. Not DBZ. What's the other one?
Naruto?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
But it's such a great TV show. I love it.
Yo, we just play like a game of charades. Not DBZ, but
What's the other big one?
Only weebs would get that.
Yeah.
I'm basic as fuck, so you guys would probably nail me every single time. But that's the only anime I've ever watched, and the only reason why I watched it was because Asin literally made me watch the shows.
He's an awesome friend, man. Amazing friend for doing that.
Yeah.
And then I got fucking couple months later, I'm like 700 episodes in. But I don't know, I can't sit down and watch them anymore.
I want to force you to watch my favorite anime, but I think it would take too long for you to get into it, and you would just be like, "Why the fuck are we watching this?"
Is it the Code Geass? Yes. Is that the one?
That's my favorite.
Oh my god, bro!
You made me watch like the first 2 episodes when you still lived here, and it was like Gundam shit, right?
Well, yeah, I mean there is like mech fighting in it, yeah. But
I remember.
It's so deeper than
that,
it's like it's similar to Death Note.
It is,
like as far as like strategy wise, and I fucking love Code. I don't know if I could cuss like can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I love Code Geass, so I totally agree with that. That's awesome anime. I didn't like season 2 as much as I liked 1, but I still enjoyed it.
I just the thing that really makes it for me, like I loved it all the way through, and then the ending, in my opinion, is like the best ending of anything ever. Like it's just such a twist that like. Man, it's the only anime where I've been watching it like the last episode, and you get that feeling where you're like, oh, dude, I might tear up. Oh, shit. Mm-hmm. And like you want to get emotional just because of what's going on, and you've been with these characters for so long. But it's definitely my favorite.
So long, it's only 50 episodes.
I know. I think it's the perfect amount of episodes for an anime. I think Naruto goes way too long.
Yeah, and that shows you how a writer can make you feel something towards characters with just 50 episodes.
Yeah.
And you at the end you do feel something towards these characters. And I don't know if you guys watch Netflix at all? Not to pivot off of anime at all, but
Yeah, go
it's a
ahead.
TV show called The Haunting on Hill House.
I've heard of it, and I'm a huge fan of the horror genre. So it's something I
Please watch
really
it.
want to put on my list to watch.
Not this
Please
fat
watch
motherfucker. I don't do horror stuff. Like, there's probably, I don't know how many episodes I've had to talk about this, and people just call me a big baby. But
But this is the thing though. It's not just about horror though. It's so much more than that, man. It's kind of like you ever seen Lost?
nope.
Okay, so you ever seen This Is Us?
Nope.
Okay, so I'll just explain what it is. So
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
like it's the Crane family, and they grew up in this haunted house, and it pivots between past and present,
hmm
and they show how living in a haunted house affected them into their adult lives. And some of the characters are going through addiction. Some ended up having powers from it. Some people are just completely pieces of shit. It's just so much, and it's like a family drama more than a horror story, and that what makes it so interesting. And they kind of take a Game of Thrones direction of the show. It's kind of like every character has their own individual episode, so you know the ins and outs of how they think, why they're doing this, and so on and so forth. And then as the show goes on, it kind of emerges all those single episodes of each character, and
Yeah.
it blends them into each point of view, and it makes so much sense. It's literally one of the best TV shows I've ever seen in my life, and it is the best horror TV show that I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Shit pop out of closets, and like people get hacked up and shit.
You'll be all right, man.
Yeah, you'll be all right, dude. I'll hold your hand.
Leave the light on.
Yeah, that's
I might
the-
have to watch it. That actually sounds pretty good.
that's the reason why I like anime so much, is because they take the time. A lot of TV shows like live action just don't do what you just said, and that is, give characters their own episodes to kind of give you a little background on them, so you actually care about them. Because otherwise, it's just like some dude in the background, just another character. Why should I give a shit about him? And
Right, exactly. And I feel like that's like why a lot of TV shows fail, because you don't feel anything towards them at all, and that's art. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could watch somebody on TV that you have no idea who this person is. You don't care who they were, but to make you feel something towards that character, that's art to me. And I love that.
yeah, but I'm definitely on the same track though as you about Death Note. I really liked because of the psychological aspect, the strategy.
Mhm.
I didn't like it as much as Code Geass, but I love that kind of anime. And other than that, I like shonen stuff like Naruto and Bleach and My Hero Academia and all those. But
I was waiting for you to say it.
but
Let's be best friends.
let's be well, you might want to take that back after I'm about to say this next part, and that is, all shonen anime end up disappointing me at some point.
No, you're completely right. I feel like it's only one direction for a shonen to go, and it's for the main protagonist is to come out on top. And it's a dead end plot. It's kind of predictable. They never lose. If they do lose, they'll bounce back. So I feel like there are downfalls in shonen versus other anime, and but it's still fun to watch though.
Yeah, they're still fun to watch. Like, they all eventually become like Dragon Ball Z, man. They all have like these world breaking
Yeah.
powers, and it's just like the reason I liked Naruto so much at first is in those first 50 episodes, man, the strategy they put into their moves, and like they had to think about what they were doing, and like they weren't like super strong, so they had to actually think about, dodging and doing all this other shit. And then 200 episodes in, they're like, here's my big fucking move that wipes out your town. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, they're like super OP.
Yeah.
That's why I do not like Superman. Like, I deal with him, but he's just too OP. Like, nobody can
Yeah.
beat Superman. It's not fair. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm a Batman guy. Batman all the way.
there you go. I agree. Fuck Superman.
Yeah, I've
Batman
never really
earns
liked Superman
everything he
either.
got.
Except
Complete
his money,
strategist,
because
man.
he's rich and he's an orphan, but
Yeah, but
he didn't earn
Yeah, but
that.
how many rich people are in this world that ain't Batman yet? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That is true. That is true.
he has to have some kind of unfair power.
hmm
Yeah,
It
money.
just happens to be money.
Speaking of anime, which I guess this would be considered anime, which is probably one of the other ones I've watched, they announced live action for Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
How do you guys feel about that? Because they took one of my favorite, whether it be video games, universe, whatever, that was cartoonish. They took Warcraft and they made a live action film out of it, and they completely fucking destroyed it. And until they make a anime or what's the word? It's not anime. What is the word I'm looking for?
What do you mean? Like
instead of being live action, it's what?
Well,
CG.
CG. Yeah, there it is.
So basically, take their intros for their expansions and things like that, and make a movie about Warcraft with those same graphics. Like, that's what they need to do. I feel like anytime somebody tries to take something that was cartoonish or anime and make live action out of it, they ruin it.
I'm glad you asked that question because another thing came up this past week. I don't know if you guys saw it or what, but they're making a live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh,
what?
No.
Yes.
How? That's not a thing.
The poster is like from the producers of Fast and the Furious.
What the?
I think I actually saw a picture. Did they show a picture of what Sonic looks like?
Yeah, but it was kind of like one of those silhouettes when you didn't unlock the character yet.
Oh, okay.
Like you don't see what he looks like. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I want this to work because I love Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
Like I spent numerous hours on, Sega Genesis trying to beat levels that I couldn't never beat without a cheat code. But to see like live action, I really don't know how that turns out. And for the producers of Fast and the Furious to do this, what are you going to be doing? Jumping over like cliffs and stuff? Like,
man, they ran out of cars and stuff to blow up, so they just went over cartoons.
Like, I love that franchise at the beginning, but then it just turned into something completely opposite.
Yeah, shit
what
show.
It started off as. But to go back to the Cowboy Bebop question you asked, when I got the news, I was super excited for it. But then again, like there have been so many other live action anime movies that I've never watched. I know they have one for Full Metal Alchemist. They have one for Attack on Titans.
I'm sure you watched the Death Note one.
Yeah, I watched the Death Note one. And I mean, I was biased because, I know so much about it. But to look at it as like someone's first time watching it, it really wasn't that bad of a film. It was decent.
I agree.
It was all right, but since I know so much of the ins and outs, I was kind of disappointed. But for someone's first time seeing it, it was all right. And that's all I want out of this Cowboy Bebop live action, is for fans that aren't fans of anime to see it and be like, oh, is this what I've been missing out on? And then, that's like a gateway into getting an anime. So
Right.
I like what they're starting to do. It's kind of like, trying to make anime, as the young kids are saying, wavy.
Yeah. I mean,
You're gonna have to explain that one because that went right over my head. What is wavy?
So wavy is like cool, like when you think of a surfer, you're like, oh, he's cool.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, man, that's wavy.
Why do they
like,
come up with this shit? What just happened? It needs to be cool, dude. Like, not rad. Rad was before my time. I think we just called shit awesome or cool. Dope is like 5 years ago.
Yeah. I think
maybe. Anyways, wavy. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the reason I think Cowboy Bebop could be good, and all the other like live action animes have mostly been bad, but the reason I'm excited for the Cowboy Bebop one is because it's not too out there as an anime for them to make a live action. It's a bounty, space bounty hunter. Like, they've made sci-fi movies before. They could do it. I'm just worried about how they make Spike look, and how they make the characters look, and how they just kind of build the universe. Like, I want to see a trailer before I judge it.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier. Like, if it's not good to look at, I'm not going to be interested into it.
Right.
That's why
Exactly.
I never saw the DBZ movie, the live action one.
Oh my god.
I refuse to watch that shit.
Have you seen it, son?
No, I've seen parts of it, but it was so cringy. It was like they were trying
I
to
can't do it.
actually do the anime in real life, like with the cutesy shit and everything too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, then like I heard like Goku was in high school. I'm like, he was never in any kind of school at all besides just trying to learn how to fight.
Yeah, it was
So
bad, man.
I'm just like, they went completely left. And the guy that made that movie, I forget how many years ago. It has to be like what, 13 plus, maybe.
Oh, that's old as shit.
He's still apologizing for it. That's how bad it was. Like he wrote a letter either earlier this year or late last year, like still apologizing about it. Like
Oh,
you probably
that's
can't find a
bad.
job after that.
Yeah, you done, dude. You screwed up one of the biggest franchises in the world.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like
can't
that
recover.
CG guy that had to do the mustache for Superman in Justice League.
Oh yeah, he was like, "I'm not cutting my stash."
That guy's not
Boss
finding any
move.
jobs either.
Boss move.
Oh man,
But I mean, I don't know if you guys saw Mission Impossible. Was it Fallout? I think it was called.
the new one I haven't
It's a
seen.
pretty
it,
good movie. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I see why I didn't cut the mustache.
there you go. It was worth it.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen any of them past the second one. And the only thing I remember about the Mission Impossible movies was the fucking gum from the first one, where you stick the two
Oh.
pieces of gum together and it blew up. That's about all I remember of those movies.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I love espionage type movies.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's just Tom Cruise. Like I don't know what
you
it
don't
is.
like Tom Cruise?
No, like he just, the way he looks is just like a slap in the face to me. You know, it's just his.
damn, son.
It's his it's his mannerisms.
Damn,
Like
smack in the face.
he's not a bad looking guy.
Coming in hot.
He's not a bad looking guy. Like he's a gentle on the eyes looking kind of guy. It's just the way he look. Like when he looks at the camera, sometimes you're just like, oh, come on, dude. Like
There's just something about
It's
his face where I just want to
cringe.
punch him right in the nose, dude.
I don't want to hit him. I
That
feel
is
like
the
I'm
first
getting
time
hit.
I've ever heard that about
Oh,
Tom Cruise.
yeah,
That's
well,
hilarious.
I say some weird
I
shit.
think
I guess.
I think what you're
keep
trying to
going,
say is that he doesn't seem to fit the role of that guy.
Maybe
of
that's what it
Ethan.
is.
I got you.
And I kind of like, I think it's weird that they took Ethan as the Mission Impossible guy in the very beginning anyway, because I don't know if you ever played the Mission Impossible games on like NES,
Mm-mm.
but Ethan was like a side character. I don't remember who the main characters were, but like Ethan was a side character, and then Mission Impossible came out and he was the main character of the movie. So I was like, oh, that's weird. But you know,
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah. But anyway, so we just like last episode, we decided to or no, now it's gonna be 2 episodes ago. Man, we need to we got a new segment that we're gonna try out with you.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. It's just a TV shows this or that between 2 shows. What you think is better and why. So
Oh, this sounds fun.
hopefully you've seen all the shows. So yeah, we'll just go with that. So first one, Sons of Anarchy or Breaking Bad.
I'm gonna go Breaking Bad. I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, but Breaking Bad is one of the top 5 shows of all time, man. Walter White all day, man.
Yeah,
Walter White is the GOAT.
he's the GOAT. I agree with you,
Yes, sir.
but I agree with you, but I've only seen a few episodes of Sons of Anarchy, and Nathan's the exact opposite. He's seen all of Sons of Anarchy and barely any of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So
I tried to watch
This
Breaking
is why
Bad.
your podcast works. You guys are like the complete opposite.
I've literally never met 2 best friends that almost have opposite feelings about so much shit, and I think that's why I love
is
this man
perfect.
so much. Opposites attract, I guess.
yeah, this next
Hell
one's
yeah.
also another opposite that we fall on either side. So the
Well-
next one is just The Office or Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec for sure.
Hell
so you side
yeah,
with
that's what I'm
Nathan on that,
talking
all right.
about.
All right.
The Office it's Steve Carell, dude. Like it's almost the same thing with Tom
Oh my
Cruise.
God.
Like when I see
Yeah.
Steve Carell, I'm just like, pick somebody else.
Right.
Like
And
his-
everybody doesn't work in the office. Like I feel like Parks and Rec is more relatable.
Parks and Recreation is so much relatable. I've never worked in government, but I have family members that work in government, and I've kind of met the people that they work with, and it fits. So, like, I see it all the way. Like, I don't know. It's just such a better show. That and Ron Swanson. Anna says he reminds me of my dad, a son.
He does.
I don't
He
know.
does. He actually does.
So it's fun. It's hilarious.
This is the thing. just how you guys feel about Steve Carell is how I can't deal with Amy Poehler. That's her name, right?
So she's
like the
running for
main
you?
character.
Leslie Nope, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Isn't it Amy Poehler? She's like the main, like the boss.
That's the character's name is Leslie Nope.
Okay, so yeah, probably the blonde haired
Yeah.
girl. Like she's from
Yeah,
Saturday
like-
Night Live. I've never liked her humor on Saturday Night Live. God, shooting myself in the foot. But like she, just her character in that show, I don't like it. Just like you guys don't like Steve Carell's in The Office, and I love
They're
Steve
the two
Carell's.
cringies.
I
of
like
the
Steve
show.
Carell, just not in the office though.
Yeah, he's definitely. I don't know. Both of them have that cringe humor.
Yeah.
For sure. But and I do like Parks and Rec. I just like The Office more. So that's that one. Next one is two animated shows, Family Guy or Futurama.
Ooh. I gotta go Family Guy.
Yeah, I think that's hands down.
I gotta go Family Guy.
I can't really. I mean, Family Guy has probably made me laugh more, but I love the characters of Futurama so much.
That's why I said like I have to go Family Guy because they're in the same, would you say, comedy genre?
Yeah,
So I have more laughs in Family Guy, but I like Futurama a lot though.
yeah,
I like the the characters a lot more in Futurama. But Peter is so fucking funny.
yeah,
Stewie.
yeah. Peter Stewie.
Forget the dog's name. But
Brian,
he's
yeah.
hilarious as well. Brian, yeah. So yeah, I'll take Family Guy.
Yeah, I think we all agree there. So next one. This is, I've only seen one of these and not even the full show. But Nathan is a big fan of the medical genre in shows. So Grey's Anatomy or House.
So
This is how you earn points with me right here. How you answer the question.
I think you'd earn points regardless because you like both, right?
True.
I'll go Grey's.
Man, I'm torn down the middle. Like, the reason why I love Grey's Anatomy so much is, I don't know, it's more drama, whereas House is, like, more based around, you know, the singular person, whereas Grey's is, like, a whole team of people that you care about. And Grey's Anatomy, spoiler alert, halfway through the show, all my favorite characters are already dead. So I've had to relearn to like other characters in the show. I still love the show. I'm not as attached to Grey's because all my favorite characters are dead. But House, I don't know if you've seen all of them, but from the time I watched the first one till the time I watched the last one, I was in love with Hugh Laurie, I think is what his name is.
Yeah, the actor.
That character just embodies what I would want to be if I was ever in the medical field. Like, he's just genius, smartass. Like, I love it.
He's like this Tony Stark of the medical field.
Exactly. That's why I like Iron Man the best out of everything too, because they both kind of have that same feeling to them. They're just super brilliant, snarky people. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of that way, except for minus the smart part. I'm just snarky.
Yeah.
They're both good. They're both good though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I prefer House. That's the only one I've seen. Like I said, I haven't seen it all the way through, but like with medical stuff and then drama, not interested. So I mean, Grey's Anatomy is kind of like, it's not really in my wheelhouse at all to watch. But maybe I'll
Well,
try it someday.
I'll admit the only reason why I ever watched Grey's Anatomy was because I'm married and my wife watched it.
That's the only reason I fucking said Grey's Anatomy. My girlfriend lives by that show, so I'm constantly beat against the head with that show.
Exactly. You just
I
gotta
don't
learn
watch
to love
House
it
a
after
lot.
a while.
Like, I watched House like when it first came out. I love the first season, but literally every time I come home, I see my girlfriend, tears in her eyes. I look to TV. It's very
Dude, it's a sad show, man. Like a lot of
man.
characters
Emo.
get messed up.
I like emo shit though.
yeah.
Emo shit's good.
I guess.
I mean,
We all need to cry every now
you like
and then.
Death
Exactly.
Note, so emo shit for sure.
Yeah, man. If I had hair, my hair would be green, green or purple.
Green or purple, man. All right, next one. This one is kind of like really one-sided, but it's still a good show. Game of Thrones or Vikings?
Game of Thrones for sure, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
All day long. I'm actually doing a rewatch right now,
nice.
just to get ready for the next season. And,
Dude, I thought about it, but it would take so long.
it is,
like
man. It is a
when
mission.
I was looking it up, like I found out what the date was for the release of the new episode, or the month I think is all that they've said. I was like, to be able to watch everything, I'd literally have to watch one a week until
Yeah.
like the show came out, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of pushing through it, but it's so much fun because you know so much more now. So to have like Farsight and like kind of feel like an overseer of the whole thing is so much cooler to watch a second time.
Yeah,
And I'm actually doing my first read of the Throne books at the same time. So
Oh, nice.
my mind is in fucking I don't know where because it's so different from the show.
yeah,
I'm so confused. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, oh, that was in the book. Oh, wait, that's in the show. So, but it's fun though. I like to be knowledgeable about stuff that I really love, and I'm pretty sure after this rewatch, I probably want to do another rewatch in a long time. So, you know, I get it under my belt now. I get my first read through under my belt at the same time before the next book comes out. So I'm throwing that away, man.
yeah. I think I'm gonna wait for the show to be completely over and then I'll read the books because like that's one thing I don't want to get confused because I've already read some things from the book and I'm like, wait, I thought this thing happened and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, like I really want to be careful with trying to read it at the same time.
That's kind of where I'm at with The Walking Dead too. I kind of stopped after I read the comics because the comics were amazing. I kind of fell off. I'm thinking I'm like a few issues behind, but it's so much better than the show. And I feel like this show is like running around in circles because the comic book is even finished yet.
Yeah,
It's like nowhere near being finished. So it's kind of like they don't have an end point. So they're just making a bunch of like anime people want to like a bunch of filler episodes.
yeah,
And that's what
Right.
it exactly feels like. So I stopped watching.
yeah. I stopped watching Walking Dead after like season 3, like after they got out of that prison.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's when I
yeah.
quit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like well, no, I actually watched the next season after that with the governor or whatever. Is that his name?
Yeah, that was the last good season. The governor, and then they went to that little housing area. I forget the name of it. That was kind of when I stopped watching that.
Yeah.
But
I
now
was
they're
like,
trying to
eh.
get people back, like killing off like popular characters, like like shock value,
Yeah.
and you want to like tune back in to see what happened. But nah,
They
This-
did, man. That world's over with.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
little off topic, but did you see the so like do you watch stand-up comedy at all?
Somewhat.
Okay, so one of my favorite comedians is Dave Chappelle. And
Oh yeah, I definitely watched that. Then.
yeah, Dave Chappelle is the shit. And because he was gone for like 10 years from comedy, and
Mhm.
when he came back, his first video he made was of him as Negan with
Yeah,
the
I remember
bat.
that.
Oh shit! That
it was
is
on-
SNL skit.
Yeah, the SNL skit, dude. I laughed my ass off so fucking hard when he was acting like Negan, and he
Yeah,
brought
it's
all his
hilarious.
characters back from the Chappelle Show. So good.
Yeah, one of the best SNL episodes of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
Even not even with the comedy stuff, but remember his monologue during that episode?
Yeah. He's
That was so deep, bro. Because that's right when the whole election thing happened, and he said what he said, and it was just an all around good episode to make
Yeah.
a comeback with.
Yeah, it was really good. And I mean, he just got paid like what, $60 million to do those 4 specials on Netflix.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
fucking cashed off of
Yeah.
4
cash
episodes.
and bounce, dude.
I mean, it is 4
But,
hours of comedy, but still, like he killed it too. Like all of them are good. It's insane.
Yeah, for him to still be funny in today's age with how like I won't even say people are being sensitive because it's nothing wrong with being sensitive. Everybody's entitled to their own emotions, but to
Right.
still be funny in today's age with so many people saying that's not right, and
Yeah.
to still thrive, that's greatness right there.
Well, yeah, not
Mhm.
only is he thriving, but he's still breaking through like things that people would find offensive, for example. He still says it and he knows it's offensive, but it works
Yeah.
because he's just so good at his craft. So,
I forget what I was listening to. I think it was like a Joe Rogan podcast or something like that. And it was a comedian saying that he's afraid that stand-up comedy would die because That's what a lot of
No.
comics like thrive off, is just making offensive jokes, making racial jokes, making anything offensive. That's kind of like how you come up in comedy when you run out of material. You just make a fun of somebody's situation, and you're laughing at their pain, and they're laughing at your pain at the same time. But with how today's age is going, that's not going to be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what they were talking about.
Well,
I don't think that'll ever be an issue because whenever I'm watching comedy, like people will say stuff that I find offensive, like what I should find offensive. Like I grew up in a very religious household, you know, all the Christian beliefs. And so whenever people make fun of religion like that, typically if like I'm in a conversation, like I'll start debating people about religion. But whenever they make fun of it, like it still makes me laugh. Like that would be something that I should find offensive, but it's funny to me because I know it's comedy, and I know half the stuff that comedians say, they don't actually mean it, and you know they don't care. You know, they're not trying to hurt people's feelings. They're just trying to make something funny, and that's how you have to look at comedy. It has to be, you know, leave your feelings out of it. Just laugh at what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how me and you feel because we're from the same, I guess we're in the same age group, but kids growing up now may not take comedy like that lightly. You know what I mean?
I guess that's true.
Because like as decades go on, you keep hearing that we're soft. Can you imagine the next generation?
Right.
So I feel like comedy is a generational thing. So maybe stand-up comedy will pivot into something else versus, you know, racial jokes, political jokes, so on and so forth. Like somebody like Bill Maher or, you know, those shows on Comedy Central may not survive because people won't think that's funny anymore because it's a serious issue.
I mean, I've never thought Bill Maher was funny.
Me neither. It's just dry humor. And I have a friend that lives by that guy. I'm like, why do you think he's funny? He's not funny at all. He's an asshole. That's all it is. And I guess assholes are funny because you're laughing at them.
Right.
But there's other people that like, I disagree with a lot of things that like Jim Jeffries says because he's like a shock comic, but he just says it in such a way that I'm laughing my ass off, and he's one of my favorite comedians.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, comedy and fear is a crazy thing because everybody takes a different tone to those two things.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared of something that somebody else is not scared of, and people think something that's funny is not funny to somebody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
those are the two things that are kind of hit or miss between two people.
Yeah. All right. So the last part of this segment, and I don't watch either of these shows, so this is going to be a complete toss-up, but CSI or NCIS?
Fuck, I forget the guy's name. Jarreau, what's his name? The fucking cool guy with the shades on. Which one was that? I think that was Miami CSI.
Was it?
Or was it Miami NCSI?
I think CSI Miami,
he was
but
kind of like a low-key ginger.
Oh yeah, that's CSI Miami for sure.
I'll take that. That guy was the coolest person ever on TV, bro. Like,
dude, when those memes came out, that was like the only thing you saw on the internet for so long.
It's been. I was legit whenever that came out, but I remember watching it and was like, this guy's like fucking killing it right now. Not even trying.
Yeah.
But, I wonder where he's at right now. He needs a recast.
There's no telling.
He's probably swimming in ladies, dude.
Yeah, I'll take that. That guy's a shit.
Hell yeah. All right, well, that was that segment there was pretty fun.
I like that. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Even though Nathan was wrong about everything ever.
Yeah, hey, I'm fine with that.
my only regret for answering was the Grays versus the House. But, I'm literally beat against the head every day with that Grays stuff.
That's all right, man.
I had to go Grays. Just
don't tell your girlfriend about this podcast, dude. It's cool. We'll keep it a secret.
What did you say about me?
One of these days, we're gonna have to get our girlfriends on for an episode. That way, they can actually defend them. Well, mainly so much my wife.
Yeah, I don't talk shit.
You don't talk much about Gwen, but I talk a lot about Anna. She needs to be able to get on here and defend herself.
Yeah. All
That'd
right.
be a fun podcast episode. Let
Yeah,
them
it will
host
be.
it and ask us the questions. That'd be free. Actually, nah, I'll take that back.
Yeah,
It's gonna be the
you
Cole
gotta
one
be
with the
careful with
girls.
Yeah, that might get out of hand.
that.
So when you're in high school, did you like? Why are we talking about the past? Why are you bringing up old shit?
We bringing up that old shit.
So before we started dating, no, this is not that kind of podcast.
The other day we were in the supermarket and there was this girl and you looked at her. It's like, come
So
on.
out of my friends, which one do you like the most? Like, this is not that
This
kind
is a
of
trick
podcast.
question.
Dude,
I
I
always
would
want to know
totally
the
answer
most
those.
awkward questions, bro. Like, nah,
See, that's what I love about my wife. Like, if she could ask me those questions and I could tell her, and like we would just have fun with it. That's what I like.
that's good. I'll probably get stabbed in the back. You'll be sipping cocktails with your wife. I'll be on the floor dead. My girlfriend has a knife in my hand. And then she'll start drinking with you guys.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's
shit's
funny.
If you ever hear this, babe, I love you. I didn't mean it.
Got to throw that disclaimer in there.
Yeah, just in case. You never know. Like 10 years from now, somebody could find this pod and try to ruin our relationship.
Oh,
That's
damn.
true. Oh man, I don't like. That's one thing that I want to talk about. Like, I completely crossed my mind till you just said that. I don't know if you follow college sports at all.
Yeah, I just heard about that today. You go ahead.
The Heisman winner was I can't think of his name, Murray. I think it's the OU
Kyler Murray.
quarterback. Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
So they're trying to take the Heisman away from him now because somebody went through his, I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook or something, but he made was it gay, like using faggot and like derogatory slurs against like gays or something back from when he was like 11, 12 or 13 years old or something. And so they're trying to strip him of that title now and like take it away from him.
Yeah, I looked it up earlier, and I think his friend was like making fun of him about something. He was like, "You guys are queers" or something like that. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it from a perspective of me as a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. I
Right.
didn't even know what the hell queer was. I
Yeah.
didn't know queer meant gay or
Those were
like
just words we called
Yeah.
people.
right. I didn't know. I thought queer was like, you lame or you're acting
Right.
queer. Like I didn't even know Queer Eye was a show about gay guys. Like I had no idea until like I think they just brought it back on Netflix, and I absolutely love that show. That show is pretty dope.
It's
But,
funny as hell.
I didn't even was that show always with gay guys hosting it?
I don't know how old the show is, but I don't think it was a show back when we were kids. Like,
Oh, no,
I'm
it-
27.
It was.
Was it
was
really?
like Queer Eye or something like that. But I don't know if it was like hosted by gay guys. But anyways, I didn't even know what the word queer was. So for him to be 12 or 13, I can only imagine how old we were at that time. I can't really do the math right now. So I mean, it is what it is. I feel like when stuff like that comes up, it's either somebody asking for some money because they're trying to threaten you, and you pay them off to cover them up or shut them up, or
Yeah.
It's somebody looking for their 60 seconds of fame. Like,
yeah, piece of shit.
there's just people out there that see people making it and see their happiness. And I don't know if it's just because they'll never be great or they don't aspire to be anything, but they just gotta shit in somebody's cereal because they ain't got nothing better to do. Like,
That's exactly
I don't get
what
it.
it is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's not just because I can't relate because I'm not gay or whatever. Because I think last year, what's the name? Josh Rosen? No, Jalen. What's the quarterback for the Bills? I forget his name.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
But he was getting drafted last year, and same thing happened to him. Somebody dug him into his old Twitter account, and they found some racial slurs in there. And I'm black, and the stuff that they found wasn't really even offensive to me. I'm just like, okay, like obviously those are like rap lyrics, and
Right.
not saying that that's okay. I'm not trying to say like it's okay to like use that word or this and that,
Mhm.
but when you're that young, you don't really think about stuff like that. Like you just
Yeah.
trying to, I wouldn't even say trying to be cool. You just you're repeating what you hear pretty much. So when I saw that and I thought about the age he was when he said that, I couldn't take offense to it. So I'm not trying to say Kyler Murray's right or it wasn't right for him to do it because it was gay slurs. I'm saying that it's relatable both ways, and you got to think about when you were a kid and what you thought about life at the time. You're not even really thinking about stuff like that until you become an adult.
Exactly.
That's why they have like tiers of age. You have infant, toddler, preteen, teenager. It's just like as life goes on, you learn stuff throughout the stages of your development. Now, if he was the same age now and still saying that, hell yeah, that's offensive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for
So
sure.
It's
Yeah, I
totally
mean-
different when you're a kid.
Man, when I was 9 years old, I have 2 older brothers. I grew up listening to like Chronic 2001, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and I wanted to learn the lyrics. I loved the songs, so like I was saying shit like that when I was 9 years old, not knowing what it means at all. But
Right.
like I think
you just don't
everybody
know
does
no
when they're
better.
that age, you know.
Right.
So
That's what I'm saying. Like you're just repeating what you hear.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, you figure out what's right and wrong, and then that's your decision to either do the right thing or do the wrong thing.
Right.
And
Right.
some people don't learn as they go, and they get caught eventually from doing stuff like that. But yeah, I'm glad we all agree on that
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah, I don't know about like going back and when they're 12. I think it's definitely wrong. I don't think anything should happen to his Heisman at all.
Jeez, I'm scared for somebody to go through my Twitter account. I might delete my old one.
Yeah, just delete everything, man.
Delete.
MySpace, freaking.
I need
You
to
never
delete
know, man.
mine. Like that's
Just thinking about it, I'm like, damn, what the hell was
Yeah.
I talking about?
dude. There's no telling what I had said on there.
Yeah, bro. some
I'm
wild
gonna go
stuff.
delete that before this episode goes live for sure.
You probably hire somebody to do that for you. Like, this can
Yeah.
you delete up until 2015.
Yep.
Yeah, and now like I'm eventually it'll get to the point where people are going to be able to look at your deleted tweets too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, sure.
where you
Yeah,
just
that's kind of like
there's no escape.
That's kind of like the thing on Snapchat. You could see when somebody screenshots your photo.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I'd rather
That's
not know. Like if I get drunk, start sending some nudies to random people. Like I don't want to know if they screenshotted that or not. I just wanna-
Exactly. Just if you're gonna do it, I'd rather not know at all. And
Yeah.
that's my drunk fault for putting it up.
exactly.
Yeah, so don't
Oh.
Snapchat it. Just send them to me, Nathan. Jesus Christ.
I even have Snapchat downloaded on my phone, dude. I can't do it.
All right, well, James, we've almost gone through an hour, so we're going to go into our last segment, which is just the random question of the day. This one's kind of open-ended, and it's pretty much like movies that you're looking forward to in the next year that you've seen trailers to this year.
Oh, only trailers?
You don't have to have seen the trailer, but like things you're looking forward to in 2019 as far as movies go.
Okay, so I'll do trailers and then non-trailers. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so the Glass movie looks sick.
What is that? I haven't even heard of that.
That comes out next month. It's the last movie out of the trilogy. The first one was Unbreakable, and I'm pretty sure you heard of what is it? Split.
Split.
Sounds familiar.
Remember the guys playing all those different roles, and
I
he doesn't know who he is, and
haven't. I have heard of Unbreakable. Is that the Split like the second one or?
yeah. So you should, if you've seen Unbreakable, you should definitely watch Split.
Okay.
And then Split transition into Glass. So since you've seen Unbreakable, you remember Mr. Glass?
Yes.
So you have Bruce Willis. He's locked up in a psych ward with the guy from Split and Mr. Glass.
Okay.
And somehow the guy from Split teams up with Mr. Glass to take down Bruce Willis.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's gonna be pretty sick, and it's a M. Night Shyamalan movie, and I
M.
love
Night
and hate his
Shyamalan,
stuff.
dude.
Dude, same.
So
It's a 50-50. Like you've got I don't know. It's always just seems like one part of the movie will ruin the entire thing for
Yes.
me in a lot of his shows.
The Village was great until the end, and I was like, "What the
Yep.
fuck is this piece of
Yeah,
shit I'm
so it
It
looking
just
at right
ruins
now?"
the whole movie. You're just like, fuck.
I'm like, huh? I'm like a kid. I'm still like, what just happened? It wasn't real. But then you turn around and I missed this movie a couple years ago. It just came out, or it didn't just come out. It came out a couple years ago. It's called The Visit. That has to be one of the most scariest movies I've seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of scary shit.
Yeah, I need to see
That's
it.
when the kids visit their grandma, quote unquote. Have you guys seen that?
I haven't,
Nope.
but I need to.
Bro,
That
I've
sounds
seen a lot
scary
of
as
horror
fuck, though.
stuff, and that shit had me like screaming the entire time.
All right, Nathan,
Well,
we're watching it.
I don't know if I'm just afraid of old people or what.
Dude, old people are scary, man.
Yeah, I
That
think
ain't
I have
no
a fear
lie.
of old people. I think that's what
Yeah,
it is, man.
Dude,
That's
just
it.
that scene.
Old people and kids possessed kids. It's just too scary.
So I was this is like the third time I'm bringing this up on the podcast, but recently we, for the first time, finished the Harry Potter series
Mhm.
recently, and like I watched it with Nathan, and when it was in the last movie when they go to like where his parents died and that old lady's
Uh-huh.
there. I
Yeah,
could
the
like
old fucking
hear you
crony
being
dude.
like, "What
Hell
the
yeah.
fuck?" You were like automatically
dude.
scared of that old lady.
Like old cronies. Like cronies are just,
Crohn's. That's the right
I just
word
can't, I
for it.
can't
Crohn's,
stand it, man. Oh, it makes you like
Crohn's, bro.
gross on the inside. It's like,
We're
ugh.
probably insulting half your podcast. It's probably like a 1,000 Crohn's that listen to your podcast. That's like, I'm never listening to this.
That'd be all right.
again. They're listening to like a retirement home, like in front of the
Dude, I make this joke. I make this joke all the time with my wife. I was like, I don't know that I'm ever going to be that age because, like, I'm going to be checking out early. Like, I just don't want to get to that point to where,
Yeah.
like, somebody got to take care of me.
Right. A scary thing to think about.
It's crazy.
And like now we're talking about, are we going to be scared of ourselves in the mirror?
Hell yeah, you are.
I'm a scary looking dude. Like, what?
I'll pull the plug on you, Nathan. It's cool, dude. I got
Thanks,
you.
buddy.
But yeah, quick wrap up about that. Glass, the next Infinity War movie, the final trilogy in the Star Wars movie or Star Wars trilogy. I'm looking forward to that.
Mhm.
Ton of stuff, man. Ton of stuff. But off the top of the head, those for sure.
Yeah. What about you, Nathan? Are you looking forward to anything next year?
Definitely the Infinity movie. Well, Endgame, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't care much about the whole Captain Marvel thing. Like, she's never been a character that interested me. So I don't know how much she's going to play into the new Endgame movie. But I'm assuming it's going to be quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm still torn. Like I've seen 2 trailers so far, and I still haven't been like wowed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's cool to see it, and you're like shocked at the visuals, but
She's just
I
an
don't
OP
know.
superhero.
Right. And I don't know if it's because I don't know anything about her, so it's kind of like a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know what to be excited about or what to look forward to, but
Well, I'm sure.
I mean, it may be an amazing movie. And like this one guy said on YouTube, like maybe they have like some nostalgia shots in there. Like the first trailer had like the Blockbuster video in there. I thought that was pretty sick. So
Yeah.
maybe they do like, maybe not a lot of time, but maybe they do like a little 90s little segment to like, you know, bring back some nostalgia. I think that'd be pretty sick to add into the movie. But
Yeah.
I'm right there with you about the Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I'll take it though.
One thing I saw in the YouTube comments was like, this is Marvel's Green Lantern. From the trailer. which
Come
like
out swinging, dude.
it just doesn't look
Damn.
amazing from the trailer. It could be an amazing movie, like you said. But I mean, what I've read about Captain Marvel and anything I've seen in the comics is just it's an OP superhero that just can pretty much do about everything, including
like a
go back in
female
time. So I'm
Superman.
like, okay, well, there's the plot for Endgame. But I actually don't think
Right.
that will be the plot because I think it'll have something to do with Ant-Man. But
Well, I watched one trailer breakdown. I don't want to run your pod too long. I could be pretty quick, but they like looked at Captain America's. He shaved his beard. He went to his old suit.
Mhm.
So they're saying that they may be going back in time to like go back to change something before Thanos got there. So it's kind of like he's trying to play the part to how he looked in the past.
Yeah.
That's why the beard's gone.
yeah,
Bunch of conspiracy theory behind that beard being gone.
yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. But as far as what I'm looking forward to, obviously, you know, Endgame, and you know, Captain Marvel as well. I haven't really been into the Star Wars stuff. This new time around, like Force Awakens was okay, and I haven't even seen Last Jedi yet. So, like, I wasn't interested enough to even see that one. So, I guess, I mean, I'll probably catch up at some point. But I've also never been the biggest Star Wars fan. So, That, and then there's one movie that like I saw the trailer to, and I didn't think I needed it in my life, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, that looks like a really good movie, and I got to go see it. And it's Vice.
Vice?
Yeah, Vice. It's where Christian Bale plays Dick Cheney.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, he plays Dick Cheney, and Sam Rockwell plays George W. Bush. Steve Carell's Donald Rumsfeld. It basically goes over like Dick Cheney's rise to power as the vice president. And it just looks really interesting. It's from the makers of The Big Short, and I really enjoyed that movie. So it's kind of that same feel as far as the movie. So I'm looking forward to that. But the trailer looked amazing.
Probably the movies I'm looking forward to, other than Endgame, I don't think they're coming out in 2019. I think they're both 2020 films. But Bad Boys 3 is what I'm super excited for,
Yeah.
and Sherlock Holmes 3. So those are the two that I'm like waiting on hand and foot.
Wait a minute. Sherlock Holmes 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced it.
What was the first two?
With
there was
Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that French. I'm thinking about the one with the guy that plays Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
Benedict
that's
Cumberbatch. No, not Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, that's his name. But
Is that what it
isn't
is?
that the TV show?
That's a TV show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the TV
that's
show.
what I was like. Which trilogy or which part 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are movies, which I'm really excited for those two.
Wow.
Because I love
Okay.
Bad Boys 1 and 2 for sure.
Nathan, while you're waiting for
Bad
that
Boys.
one, you can watch the Sherlock Holmes with Will Ferrell and
Dude, I'm not going to watch that, I don't think.
What?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Like, there's Sherlock and what's the other guy's name?
Fuck.
Dr.
His assistant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called Sherlock and that guy, well, whatever his name is.
Why
and
can I
it's-
not think about
It's
this?
the two guys from Step Brothers, so Will Ferrell and I don't remember the other actor's name.
Watson.
Yeah, Sherlock and
Yeah.
Watson. That's the name of the movie, and it's like a comedy of Sherlock Holmes.
Are those movies good?
Oh
Sherlock
man,
Holmes?
they're so good. I love Robert Downey Jr. and I like Jude Law. And when you put the two, like the characters they play, it's a whole different side of Sherlock Holmes' character. Like he's super brainy, but he still brings that kind of snarky Robert Downey Jr. into it with him. And they're phenomenal movies. I love the shit out of them.
Soundtracks,
check it out.
soundtracks are amazing too.
Soundtracks are really good too.
All right, man. Well, awesome, James. I had a ton of fun, man.
It was a blast.
Yeah, I hope you had fun as well. If people want to follow
For sure, man.
your podcast or check you out on social media or anything, where can they do that?
Okay, so I'm pretty much anywhere you can find your pods under Pop Cult Net. Also, my YouTube channel is under the same name, Pop Cult Net. All my socials are the same, Pop Cult Net. So I'm pretty easy to find as long as you put those 3 names together.
All right. Well, there
Good
it
to
is.
go.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to cold1podcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is at Cold1Podcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify as well as most podcast apps in existence, but if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionspermitted.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink.